Let's get this party started. All right, here we go. Timer's on. Fan is on. I just watched this video before I got on here tonight. A YouTube video from GCN that was 10 things to make your indoor training session better. Well, we do all those 10 things. We have a fan, we have a towel, we have a water bottle, we have the right trainers, we have some entertainment while you're doing your workout. So it's good because you have all those mechanisms that you need to keep you organized and occupied. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing. And of course, they talked about having a fan. So I didn't know this, but you can actually get your, whatever your devices are that you have in your home that say, hey, Alexa, turn on the radio. Well, Alexa can turn on your fan if you have the right fan. She can turn it up, she can turn it down. So if you want to get to that level, more on you, man. That's pretty cool if you can turn your fan up just by telling the fan to turn up. I kind of like that. I do have a fan downstairs. It has a remote control. And I will admit, it is nice to have that, especially as the workout progresses. You get a little warmer. You can turn it from low to medium to high as you go. So that's something to consider. And I'm sure if you go to buy a fan right now, you're going to find them at a good price. So you should be in your easiest gear, in your small ring. Let's just get the legs spinning, get them warmed up, get the heart rate moving, get the lungs starting to go, get those muscles starting to fire. Probably for most of us, we've been sitting at a desk all day, been really stagnant. So we need to just get those muscles firing again. So we're going to do a quick, as we always do, a 5-minute kind of opener. And then, as I said earlier, this is going to turn into 4 6.5-minute blocks. And each one of those is going to look almost exactly identical. There'll just be a few little modifications we're going to make on the back side of them. And it's going to really be cadence and effort that's going to regulate us. But we also want to think about these efforts as a climbing effort. So you know what that means. We'll be in the big ring for a lot, and our cadences will probably be rather low, just because that's how we can simulate on the bike feeling like we're on a climb. So over the weekend on Saturday, I said to Randy, let's go ride some gravel. I feel like we haven't ridden any gravel in a couple of weeks. So he said, let's go up to the Cold Spring area in New York. So we always park at the Bear Mountain Inn, ride across the bridge, and go down into Cold Springs. So I don't know how many of you have ridden across the Bear Mountain Bridge, but there used to be on the western side of the bridge a really cool old stone building that was there to collect the toll across the bridge. Well, it's not there anymore. They removed the entire toll mechanism. So now it's all just the mechanism at the top that takes your easy pass, or obviously if you don't have an easy pass, they send you uphill. So it's kind of sad to see that old building be torn down because it was pretty cool. but I guess it definitely will make traffic flow a lot easier and a lot faster. All right, so we're coming up to getting our legs ready to go. This is going to be a cadence build. And I always like this because it really gets the legs to start working. I'm going to let you be the keeper of the gear. I want you to be in your small ring, somewhere around your, let's say 1921, because I don't want you going into too hard of a gear and you won't be able to hold these cadences. We're going to do 15 seconds at a 90 cadence, 15 at 100, and then 30 seconds, 100 plus. I'm looking for 110, 120. We're going to just continue to do that for 5 minutes. So go ahead and find the gear you think you can make that work. But remember, sometimes too easy of a gear isn't the way to go. Start around your 21. And if that's not good, you can always shift. Start off at 90. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hold 90. It's just going to be 15 seconds here. Then you're going to move to 100 when I count it down. 90, you'll feel nice and easy because we've all gotten really good at holding 90. 3, 2, bringing it up to 100. Don't go over that 100. Let's go 110. I cheated you out on 100. 110 plus. You have to hold this for 30 seconds. Come on. Use your core. Get a little tall. Feel yourself sitting your hips back into the saddle so you can keep that cadence high. Arms a little bent. 3, 2, back to 90. 90, you'll feel like nothing now. I won't cheat you off on a couple of seconds. To 100. Holding that 100. Dead on it. If you're watching my legs, I'm right at 100. 3, 2, 110 plus. Let's go. Come on. Kicking it out. If you can get to 120, that's even better. It's 30 seconds here. This is really where you start to warm up. 3, 2, back to 90. Woo! Heart rate's coming up. That's good. If your legs are burning, that's even better. That's what we want. 100. Remember, don't go over 100. It's easy to kind of pick up your cadence. 3, 2, 110. Let's go. Fast legs, fast legs, fast legs. Try not to bounce. If you're bouncing, then you need a harder gear. If you're not using your core, that's going to cause some of that bounce. 3, 2, back to 90. 2 more minutes of this. 2 more minutes. I love how when you get to 90, it feels so easy. Up to 100. Gradually control getting to 100. So you start to feel that it doesn't take that much to get there. And a 110 plus. Come on now. Stay in control. Upper body is nice and still. My little legs are working. Stay in control. That's it. Settling in. 3, 2, back to 90. Last time, last minute. Make it the best one. Make sure you feel the legs getting warmed up. To 100. Pick up the cadence. Just a bit. Don't go too much. Last 30 seconds. Find 110 plus. Let's go. Get to 120 this time. Come on now. Feel yourself spinning. I'm at 120. 10 seconds to go. Three, 2, 1. Easy gear. Nice and easy. Take a drink. Recover. All right. Good job getting the body ready. Now let's talk about what's to come. I called this Climb with Confidence because that's what this is going to be. I want you to start to feel that you can climb a long effort. And what we're going to do here is going to simulate the climb getting harder as you go. So the first one is going to get harder as you go. The second one's actually going to get easier as you go. So the way this is going to work, we're going to do 30 seconds at an 80 cadence, and I'm going to give you a gear. Then you're going to move to 70 cadence for a minute. Then you're going to move to 60 cadence for 2 minutes. Then you're going to move to 50 cadence for 3 minutes. So these cadences are what's simulating the climb. And when we get down to 50, don't cheat yourself. The gears I'm giving you are gear suggestions. What I want you to try to meet is the cadence. So if you need a harder gear, go there. If you're in your big ring and down in your 12 or your 11, to make it happen, that's fine. If you're getting a little chain rob on your front derailleur, that's okay. We're looking just to get short efforts here. No break in between these guys. We're going from one to the next. So a 6.5 minute effort. All right, so I want you to get big ring. So that's left hand. So you're going to your big ring. And I want you to get down to around your 19. So that's probably about 4 shifts or 5 for most people. I want you to find an 80 cadence. And if you can't do it in that gear, you may shift up. 3, 2, 1, 80 cadence. Get onto it. It's only 30 seconds. Come on. If you're right at 79, then you're perfect. If you're at 60, you need an easier gear. 3, 2, shift to 1 harder. Get your cadence to 70. Holding 70. 1 minute at 70. Pay attention to the gears you're in. We are going to use them again. Stay with it. Now is when you got to really Get your hands relaxed. Feel yourself using those glutes, the hamstrings, and the upward part of that stroke. Pulling up on the pedals more than pushing down. When I count it down, you're going to shift to a harder gear. Get to 60 cadence. 3, 2, 1. Maybe 1, maybe 2 shifts. You decide. I just want you at 60. No higher than 65. We're going to hold this for 2 minutes. So those of you that are working with heart rate or power, you might see yourself right at the bottom of zone 4. That's about the effort that we want. For those of you that have a nice, beautiful cadence now, this is going to feel very different. It's actually hard to slow your leg speed down. But if it feels super easy, then you might want to give yourself a harder gear. Keep yourself in the bike like you would while you were climbing. So you're going to consider hands on the deck, which is this upper surface. It's going to open up your chest. Allow your body to get tall. Because when you climb, you really don't need your brakes. You might shift here and there. Easy enough to move your hand there. So find your balance point in your saddle. All right, we're almost done with 2 minutes. Counting it down. 1 harder gear. Maybe 2. 50. 50. Woo! Gonna grind this out. I'm all the way down to my 13. 50. That's all I want. Now is where you really have to lighten up those legs. Your feet should continue to stay flat. Nobody's pointing their toes. You might find yourself pushing your heel down slightly. That's okay. But I want you to work more on finding light feet. And your knees, nobody's pedaling with their knees out. And nobody's doing this. I want you to sit in the saddle right above your feet. Feet are light. Feeling the pulling up of this. Keeping a consistent cadence. Nice round circles. Work this climb. Halfway there. Oh yeah. You're going to feel this, if you're doing this properly, on the tops of your legs. If you're pulling up, you might even feel this in the fronts of your shins. You'll also feel it in the glutes and the hamstrings because they're working too. Building muscle here. That's what this slow cadence is all about. Stay in the game. Don't let that cadence drop. 30 seconds to go. If you need to take a drink anytime along the efforts today, work on doing that. Because you may actually get on a climb outside and be like, oh man, I need a drink. So you have to learn how to do that. 3, 2, 1. Back to your small ring. Back to an easy gear. Woo, spin the legs. Take a drink. Try to hold your cadence somewhere between 80 and 90. Kind of as if you were going down the other side of the hill. You want to spin your legs out. So I've talked to some of you about descending, and when you descend, if you keep your legs just spinning or just moving slow in a big ring, in a big gear, then that'll keep the blood flushing through them, and your legs won't feel like lead when you go to start pedaling again, either up the next hill or when you get to the flat. So use that downhill to keep your legs light and allow yourself to just keep the legs moving. Now here's one trick. If you come over any sections on that descent where the road is rough, or you need to kind of go over, say, a deep crack or something in the road, stop your feet, forward back, and allow the bike to just roll over whatever that is. So lighten your feet, lighten your body, and allow yourself to go over it with your feet stopped. And then when you come past that, you can start just pedaling nice and comfortably again. All right, what we just did, we're going to do again, but we're going to do it in the reverse. So that means 3 minutes first, at 50, 2 minutes, at 60, 1 minute, at 70, the last 30 seconds, at 80. So if you know what gears you used, if those gears worked for you, go right back to them. So big ring, everybody. That's your left hand. If you have Shimano, it's the whole shifter. All the way down to where you were before. Let's get there. 50 cadence. Come on. Work this gear. 3 solid minutes. So this is kind of an unusual climb. It's really steep at the bottom. It starts to level out, settle in near the top. So on our ride that Randy and I did on Saturday, he found some new gravel roads. So we're literally descending, descending, descending more. And I can see at the bottom, there's a steep right turn. Well, what we just came down, we were climbing back up, but on a different part of the road. At one point, the road was 21% grade. On gravel, that is. That was tough. Then when we got to the top, there was this beautiful reservoir lake. So it was worth the climb. It's good to challenge yourself sometimes on those, just to see if you can do it without doing the paper boy. Halfway there. I'm dead on to 50 if you're following me. How are your shoulders? Are they up at your ears? Are you using your core? If you're using your core, it's helping your legs get around. Are your feet nice and light? 2 minutes in. Minute to go with this cadence. Now we're doing all this seated for a reason, because the next set is going to be a little different. Stick with it. If you're new to this and you need a little easier gear, that's fine. Do what works best for you. That's the best part about a trainer session. Nobody gets dropped. So stick with the group. We don't have to wait for anybody at the top of the hill either. Almost there. Starting to see a little reprieve. Next, you're going to go to 60. 3, 2, shift to an easier gear. Increase that cadence. Get yourself to 60. Don't cheat yourself, though. Make yourself work. Whatever power or heart rate you were holding for the last 3 minutes, try to match that. It's only 2 minutes. That's a nice part about a descending ladder. It gets easier as you go. And again, if you need a drink while you're doing this, practice it. If it's something that challenges you, keeping the upper bodies still. If you feel yourself starting to slouch, which will happen, take a deep breath and get yourself tall again. That's when your hips will turn and you'll feel a difference when you do that. Keeping your head up too. Nobody rides with their head down like this when they ride outside. So as soon as you get your body tall and look at the screen, we have to build our neck muscles up too. All right, we're coming up to the last 5 seconds. You're going to move to 70 for 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Make an easier shift, easier gear. Don't go too easy. You're hitting 75. You're in too easy of a gear. Remember, this is called climbing. Your cadence will drop when you climb. That's okay. It's only 1 minute here. That'll feel like nothing. And then our last 30 seconds, move to 80 when I count it down. 3, 2, 1, 80. Pick it up. Come on. Don't go to 90. I had to shift back 1 gear. Hold on to it. Almost there, almost there, almost there. 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Easy gear. Woo! Take a drink. So if you happen to drop your chain, going from the gear that you were using for 80 down to your small ring, next time you might want to shift to 2 harder gears before you make that shift. Reason being, It's far distance for that big ring to go. And if the chain is not in the right place, it'll drop down. So right now, 80 to 90 cadence. Spin the legs in the easiest gear. Allow yourself to towel off. Get a drink. You should probably be about halfway through your bottle at this point. And know that you should or can use an electrolyte mix for a workout of this duration. Specifically because you're going to sweat more here. You're going to sweat more in your house than you would outside right now. That's why it's hard in the wintertime when we're riding outside to remember to drink, because we don't feel like we need to. We're not sweating as much, but we are sweating. It's just evaporating or absorbing into the clothing that we're wearing. All right, next. So you might have guessed what's going to come next. We're going to do those 2 sets again. But here's the trick to these. Each one is going to have a standing section. So the first 30 seconds, you're going to stand for the first 15. Then you're going to sit for 15. The next minute, you're going to stand for the first 30 seconds. Then you're going to sit for 30 seconds. The next one, you're going to stand for 45 seconds and sit for the remainder of the 2 minutes. And then you'll stand for 1 minute and sit for the last 2 minutes. So know that if you cannot stand for the duration I'm asking you, that's okay. Allow yourself to stand as much as you can. Sit back down. Stand back up when you're ready. So the first one, I want you to be in the same gear that you were in for that 80 cadence. That's why I want you to remember what gear it was. So find your big ring. Back down to around your 19. Might be not the easiest or not the hardest gear, best gear to be standing in, but it's going to make you think for 15 seconds. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Standing for 15. Hold whatever cadence you can hold. I just want you to be standing. If standing's new to you, it's straight up. Hips over your ankles. Sitting back down, finding that 80. Even if you have to shift to get there. Give yourself one harder gear. Standing up for 30. This is going to go fast now. Standing up for 30. Nice and tall in your torso. Feel yourself balanced. Sitting back down. Finding 70. 30 seconds at 70. The next ones, when I count it down, you're going to shift to a harder gear. Not yet. And stand for 45. Harder gear. Stand it up. 45 seconds. Try not to drape yourself over your bike. Allow yourself to feel relaxed. Let your arms kind of naturally bend as your body goes a little back and forth. $15 more seconds. Stick with it. Three, two, sit down. Find a 60 cadence. Total of 2 minutes. One minute down. 1 minute to go. And the biggest challenge is going to come. Standing for a minute. Stay focused. Don't lose those metrics. $30 to go. At 60 cadence. Woo, starting to feel these efforts. That's why you don't want to be in heavy gears all day long. You'll learn how to spin. Make life easier on yourself. One more shift. Harder gear, standing up. 1 minute. Find that perfect spot. That balance point. If you're balanced, you can almost take your hands off of your bars. But that requires you to hold your core in. That core becomes really important. $10 to go. Come on. Don't stop now. You're almost there. 3, 2, sitting down. 2 minutes at 50. Take a drink if you feel like you need it. Woo! Remember the gears you're in. You're going to use them again. Ooh, this is a tough climb. Halfway there. Keep your focus. Use your metrics to help you through this. That's why we have them. They are our gauges to success. Just made that up. 1 minute to go. Put that one in the book, Lillian. I hear there's a Mara Miller quotes book coming out, authored by Lillian and Earl and Mark. So if you want to contribute any sayings, they'll be happy to take them. Almost there. 20 seconds. This is a tough climb, but I know you can get to the top. You're going to get a nice rest after this. 3, 2, small ring. Woo, easy gear. Take a drink. Towel off. Allow your legs to spin out. So part of this kind of workout is you're sitting kind of right on that range where your body is burning a lot of fat. So when you're in zone 3, you're just touching upon zone 4 for most of you. You're doing a little bit of both. That's kind of the sweet spot. Plus, we haven't done too much of climbing work yet during these sessions. The 2-pager. So you probably guessed, those of you that know me, how it's going to go. You're going to go down, back down that ladder. But this time, the standing parts come at the end, not at the beginning. So the first one will be 2 minutes of seated at 50. The last minute is standing. Then we'll continue to move down that ladder. So hopefully I'll get all the timing right, and I'll remember myself that we're standing at the end and not at the beginning. So that first effort should be somewhere where the gearing should be in your big ring down around your 13 or so, because that's where you're holding that 50 cadence. You don't have to get there yet, but I just want to give you so you can think about where you're going to head. Take another drink. Hopefully the legs are feeling a little fresher. And this is your last effort. So make it the best one. You know the motto. This is when it counts right here for this last 6 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, so find your big ring. Down to probably your 13 or whatever got you that 50 cadence. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 2 minutes at 50. Then what's going to happen after that is you're going to stand for 1 minute. Now, for some of you, your legs might just be coming to life. That's okay. That's good. That means you have a nice endurance base under you. So work this gear. Hold it at 50. I'm right at 51. I've been holding the same wattage the whole time. Doing my best to keep it consistent. And all I think about for me is light, 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 light. Light feet, light hands, light breathing. Don't force your breath. Just let it happen naturally. All you have to do is open your mouth a little and the air will come out. Almost there. Remember, we're standing for the last minute. The legs will feel slow when you start. That's okay. It's good because it's teaching you how to push a little harder when the legs aren't so there. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Stand it up. The taller you stand up when the legs are tired like this, the better. So it's almost like you have a string on your tailbone and something's pulling you. And from the top of your head, it's pulling you to get taller. "30 seconds. Stick with it. If you're over your pedals, you'll feel the balance. Feel a little bit of saddle between your legs. Try moving your hips back. 3, 2, sitting down. 1 minute at 60. Actually, 1 minute and 15 seconds. Then we're going to stand for 45 at the end of this. Better have your recovery shake ready for this one. Woo! The legs are going to feel this in the morning. That's good though. Sometimes you got to force them to work a little harder than they like. It's called overreaching. The hardest part about overreaching is regulating how you overreach, but don't overreach too much. "15 more seconds. Then we stand for 45. Three, two, up. A little easier. Legs are moving a little freer. After this, we're going to move to seated for 30 seconds at 70. Of course, when you sit down, you'll probably shift to an easier gear. 5 to go. 3, 2, sitting, easier gear. Find 70, not 80. Right there. Stick with it. It's the last couple of minutes. 3, 2, standing. 30 seconds. See if you can hold the same cadence or even higher. The last is 15 seated, 15 standing. If you want to sprint that last 15, you may. 3, 2, 1, 80 cadence. Woo! Come on now. Hold it. 3, 2, last 15. Let's go. Really push it out. Feel the pain. Feel the burn. 3, 2, 1. Shift to a little harder gear before you get into that small ring. Woo! Nice, guys. Easy gear. Small ring. Easy gear. All right, we're just going to spin this out. So for right now, just put yourself at 90 cadence. Take a drink. Make sure you're almost done with that bottle. I want you guys to get into the habit that whatever water bottle you have on your bike, if you don't finish it by the end of the workout, finish it after the workout is done, or go directly to your recovery shake. So as I've said to you before, there's a short little window for the females in the group for your acute recovery time. I want you to increase your cadence up to 95. That little short window for the females in the group is about 30 minutes, at the most an hour. That's when your body accepts that recovery and processes it most effectively. The guys in the group, if you do it within 30 minutes, you'll get just as great of a benefit, but you actually have 2 hours for your acute recovery time. I wouldn't advise you to go 2 hours because at that point, you're probably going to forget about doing it. You'll be on to the next thing. So make it immediate. Get a quick shower. Get your shake made. Bring that cadence up to 100. And as always, I want this cadence to be super light, not hard. Legs are just spinning. Body's starting to cool down just a little bit. And you're allowing that, all that tension and that hard work from the climbing to kind of get flushed out of the legs. Finishing fast, as my old coach used to say. You always want to finish a little fast. Hold on to that 100. We're going to go back down. And then we'll be done for the night. Take a drink if you haven't. Back down to 95. Spinning it out. Just like the warm up, the cool down is just as important. So we want to bring the heart rate down. We want to get the lungs start working less. Bring our breathing down, stop the sweating process, or at least not stop it completely because it might not stop if you're a big sweater. Big sweater. Pay attention to your sweat rate, guys. If you know you're someone who sweats a lot, that means you need to replace that fuel and that sodium and those nutrients, magnesium, potassium, calcium, with an electrolyte. So, you know that about yourself, then pay attention to what your body's telling you that you need that added fuel. Bring that cadence down to 90. 90 should actually feel just perfect. I know for me, when I get to 90, I'm like, oh, it feels like a comfortable pair of shoes. Because that's where we are when we're riding. Randy and I think we could probably ride with our eyes closed and hold the same cadence. We've been riding for so many years together. It's nice to have that synergy that way. All right, bring your cadence down to whatever feels good to you right now for this last 15 seconds. I'm going to stop my watch. Get off. Great job tonight, guys. That was a tough one. Woo! Good job, everybody. If you want to speak, unfortunately, you have to open your line.